Hey, second base, hey, Walrus. Do one more intro, then we'll start. Already like 4 minutes. And alright, there's one more intro. Nice second base.
僕たちのバイオリズムがもし特別なものなら記憶の手でも裏切りの夢も理にかなうようにつながるでもしも時々見せる君のあの笑顔さえもハリボテのように崩れていくなら普通に Time goes on Everything そのメロディカ誰の目
Damn it. Trying to mess with that screen behind me there. You always have to have the time. Almost like, can you just make it play like the crazy animations the whole time? But it has to go back to the clock each time. Maybe there is a way. I'll figure it out. Gotta be a way. Alright. Gotta be near the end of the game. I got the D sword. Went through all the bad stuff. Nami nearly collapsed. I heard they went to catch her. What's happening now? It's after they fell. Why'd I end it there? Oh. She lost consciousness. Her face was pale. She was clearly having trouble breathing.
早く病院に運ばないとこのままじゃ危ないわ。
Hefty woman who introduced herself as Mimose appeared at Nami's face, and she voiced her concern. Next, she turned to
そっ
Shogun.
ちに寝かせてる子もね。
Decided to leave Nami and Mimose-san's care.
二人を頼みます。
あなたはどうするの？
探さなくちゃいけない人がいて。
I need to find Norose, so I can learn the whereabouts of Noah too. I asked Nami, since she had been taken there when she was kidnapped, she wasn't too sure of it herself, and I had no choice but to find Hatano.
必要なことなの。グラジオールを倒すために。
グラジオールか。
I replaced that with Noah too,
う
and
ん。そうだよ。
Yasa's expression stiffened. Took a single step towards me. By the way she dragged the leg, I could tell she'd genuinely been injured.
一緒に行くわ。私も。
その必要はないよ。
When I tried to tell her no, she only shook her head in refusal.
地に集まらないと。
No.
綾瀬も、それに、岩も。畑野っていう人を探してほしい。
When you mention of her name, you had jumped a little from her hiding spot behind Mimose.
その人が、ノア2の場所知ってるから。
Noachu.
一緒に行動しなくても、僕はみんなの見聞きしたことがわかる。だから、今は手分けして探して。
That was the best option we had at the moment. We had to be quick about it. There's no guarantee we'd be safe if another earthquake struck.
わかった。
Yes, it seemed to agree with me. She didn't look at all happy about it.
なんだかよくわからないけど、
野呂瀬源一が全ての黒幕です。
Yam Norose.
そういうこと。それなら妹さんたちのことは私に任せなさいな。
Mimose-san puffed out her chest in display of bravado. She gave me a quick nod like an attempt to cheer me on.
ただし無茶しちゃダメよ。それと一つ頼まれてほしいんだけど、ばんちゃんヘラヘラ笑ってるうさんくさそうな中年刑事を見たら私に連絡するように伝えてくれる？
Oh. He's dead. She mean Banyu Suji? Knew all about how he died, and shot and killed by his own partner. And I consciously seen it all unfold. I wanted to tell Mimose-san this, but
まったくあの人はこんな時にどこをほっつき歩いてるんだか。まあ
he's been shot.
案外どこかで怪我人を助けてるのかもしれないけどね。
Yeah, he's a hero. Don't say I had to go and say something like that. Now I can no longer bring myself to tell the truth.
というわけでよろしく。
はい。
I meaning to, I nodded, making a promise I'd never been able to keep. That'd be the only answer I never thought to make.
西条くん。
Her head lowered, Yua spoke with a barely audible voice. For a good while now, she'd been nervously taking peeks at me. She made me think she had something to say.
あなたのこと疑ってごめんなさい。
あ、
私西条くん
But I was the
傷
killer.
つけるようなこと言って
Lenses of her glasses were covered in dust. I knew very well behind them her eyes were wet with tears.
謝っても許してもらえるとは思ってないです。それでも謝らせてください。ごめんなさい。
She bowed her head deeply. I didn't reply. I always turned my back to her.
僕のベースにあるセーラのフィギュ
はい。
Take care of them.
ア、よかったらもらってくれる？
What? Want my Santa figures? Actually, she deceived me. I couldn't have been more shocked, but now I understood why she'd done what she'd done. I felt wrong to say I forgive you or something along those lines. True that I always thought of her as my enemy, but I had no right to make her bow to me nor any right to forgive her.
いいんですか？
I'm cool now. Don't need figures.
もらってほしい。
You mean your waifus? No. They're dolls.
また一緒に
I don't want
フィギュ
dolls.
ア買いに行きましょうね。
With that, you put on the same gentle smile she had when we'd first met, and nodded to her in response. Changed looks with both Ayase and Mimosa-san. Then I etched the image of Nanami and Shogun in my eyes one last time. And so I began walking along alone among the mountains of rubble once again. Shinsen Station of the Inokashira line was one stop from Shibuya, taking only about a minute to arrive there by train. The station itself was situated with an underground tunnel, resulting in only natural light being the beams seeping in from the opening at the top of the platform. Due to the earthquake, all the light had gone out, enveloping the area in a far thicker darkness than usual. Carefully supporting Orihara Kozoe's body, Aoi Sena set foot onto the platform. There had been no need to buy a ticket. Not a single staff member was present in the vicinity. None of the ticket machines were in service. Only a glance was necessary to understand how horribly warped the railway tracks had become. It was no wonder that the trains had suspended operation by the day before.
通勤するの。
Kozoe's left leg was drenched in blood. She'd been deeply cut by broken glass during the earthquake. Then I attempted to staunch the flow of blood with a towel, but the wound was far worse than she had supposed. Basic first aid would not suffice. Bibliomaniacs are unable to use their powers to heal wounds. Oh, what? The hell? To the brain, pain is an inescapable reminder of reality. Thus, Gigalomaniacs could not form any sort of mutual recognition to the effect of I'm not wounded or the injury didn't happen. Human sake would never allow it. Even with Kozoe's teary protests, Senna remained wordless. She marched intently towards Shinsen Station. Only one thing held her focus, something she refused to divert any attention from. When they at last reached the deserted platform, Senna quickly pulled back the arm she'd been using to support Kozoe. No strength remaining in one of her legs, Kozoe immediately collapsed to the ground. Kozoe lifted her gaze in bewilderment, but Senna paid her no mind. Glaring motionlessly at a certain point in the distance, the black-haired girl gritted her teeth.
やった。見つけた。
And of her gaze, in the dark recesses of the platform sat a lone human figure.
セナさんのパパなのだ。
What? Tatano. A homeless man clad in filthy rags. In his hands he held a sign that said, "The hearts of the people face annihilation." Then I slowly approached the man.
誰に向けたメッセージだ。
Her voice was cold and unfeeling, and I could freeze all that came in contact with it.
負を生へと変換できる者たちへの遺言だよ、セナ。
With his head hung low, the homeless man did not even look his daughter in the eye as he dispassionately spoke her name.
お前に慣れ慣れしく名前を呼ばれたくない。この半年、ずっと考えてきた。お前をどうやって殺すか。
Trying to kill you.
ありがとう。
どうして礼を言う。
利己的な理由だよ。 お前に殺されることが私にとって最善の贖罪かもしれない。そう思ったからだ。
そ
You
れ
must
なら
kill me.
話は
I am bad. Use the D sword. Senna real booted her D sword. Method she had chosen for her father's execution, his death by her D sword. Simply behind it lay the truth bare. The way she killed him did not matter. All that mattered was killing him at all.
すまない。
Tano still refused to raise his head.
どうして謝る？
お前に父殺しの汚名を着せてしまうからだ。
殺せさえすればどんな恥ずかしめだって受けてやる。お前は母さんと妹を殺した。
事実だ。
しかもあんなむごい最後。
I could only act calm and collected for so long. As emotions began to take control, she was seized by a fierce
お
tremble.
前には見せたくはなかった。いや、今のは聞き流してくれ。
なぜあんなことを。
過程を説明することは無意味だよ。お前は納得しないし、結果が改変されるわけでもない。
And I thrust the tip of her D sword towards Atano's head.
そうやってまた逃げるのか。
間違っていたのは私だ。それが全てなんだ。
お前には失望した。
まだ期待していたのか。何を。人を含めて世界は全て電気仕掛け。そう言ったのはお前だ、セナ。
Senna's shoulders trembled. Nearly 3 years ever since Atano had begun the Mana project, the two of them had rarely come into contact. Despite the significant time apart, Atano had seen right through her, something which troubled her to no end. Struck by the sheer discomfort she felt, the wave in her heart morphed into nothing but pure fury, despite any form of reason she had still left within her.
セナ、惑わされるな。電気仕掛けならばお前のその私を恨む感情もまたただの電気信号でしかない。
Oh, she's trying to overwhelm me. That's what Senna told herself. Calm
お
down.
前の言葉なんか無効だ。
あまり感情的な行動をとるな。でなければお前は矛盾する。その言葉を受け取ってはいけない。精神攻撃だ。判断を中止するんだ。
話は終わりだ。
Hanashi, Owarida. I was like about to, every time I hear that I say I'm about to say the match. She's saying the match is about to end, or she's saying this is the end of the match. Senna tried to take a stance with her D sword. Before she could, Atano suddenly stood up. Kozumi watched her exchange with the knees. When she wondered if she should interfere, the pain in her leg forced her to abandon all hope of doing so. She was not sad, but that did not stop her from weeping deep within herself. Atano took one large step forward. Response delayed, Senna switched to an offensive position. In an attempt to brace herself, her feet slipped on the gravel. As her body shook and staggered, her stance began to collapse. A sort of edge her appearance had once held disappeared. In its place came a great fear. Her hatred towards her father was what had given her the strength to persist. Now the time to come to face him at last, she found herself deeply afraid. She did not quite understand why that was. All she knew was the cause of the eye within the words he had just spoken. Tana threw himself at her with tremendous speed. She fell backwards, ignoring both gravity and centrifugal force alike. She swung her enormous D-sword up from below. Blade first carved out the tile on the platform floor, then it slashed straight through her father's shoulder, with a fluidity akin to like a hot knife through butter. Father's hands sent her flying backwards. Fresh blood burst from her father's injury. Her eyes were colored with an expression of deep relief. Senna's teeth sank into her lip. Even a second later, something pierced her father's chest at lightning speed. Tearing in through his back, it flew straight through the man's chest, very nearly grazed Senna, then swiftly disappeared. Now, blood gushed not just from his shoulder, but from his chest as well. The crimson liquid flowing from his lip wound splattered against Senna's cheeks. A bullet? Having been thrown backwards, the moment Senna landed on her rear, her head shot right back up, and she frantically searched for the shooter.
おっとミスったっす。
Uh-oh. Damn, what's his name? I was about to say Yuta. Not his name. A man stood in the crossway between Shinsen Station Tunnel and the tunnel leading to Shibuya Station. Suwa, there we go, thank you. I was going to say Yuta. It's like, Yuta's not his name. Was it Wheeler Yuta? How'd he get involved? This whole place illuminated by a gaping patch of sky above. Thanks, Walrus. He's holding a handgun.
でもこの距離にしてはいい腕だと思わないっすか？
He's the only guy with a gun, really, so far. Said his father collapsed beside her. Half his body was already soaked in blood. No, were you protecting me? Overcome with disbelief, Senna fixed her gaze on the pool of blood spilling over the floor.
言葉は混沌だ。
Gasping for air, her father weakly
お
spoke.
前は素直すぎるんだ。セナ、そんなお前がとても悲しく、そして愛おしいよ。
Blood had been meant for Senna, but Atano had taken it in her place. He had been trying to take her father's life, but he had given it for her instead.
ふざけるな。
Senna tightened her grip on the D sword she held in her hand.
まあ別に構わないっすよね。畑の親子にはどっちも死んでもらうつもりだったんで。
I'll kill you both. Odd noise echoed through the platform. Sound Senna instantly recognized as a Noah 2 terminal. How long has it been sounding going for? Then would not let it continue. The existence of the man who had stepped between her and her father, the man whose gun had prematurely ended the resolution, something she would not let continue.
よくも邪魔を。
She stepped and fixed her eyes ahead. Her eyes of an infant began to resound through the dimly lit platform. Since a strange discomfort grew in her hand. For some reason she could not comprehend, instead of a sword, she was clutching a decayed, desiccated baby. In action motivated by reflex, she cast it away from her. Immediately after she had done so, she realized the child was her own sister. Her sister had only seen once before, long ago. Her sister whose name she did not know, and her mother devoured her until hardly anything remained. That was the child before. Large avulsions where a chunk of meat and bitten free from her covered her entire frame. Each tear was in her dry skin provided a window to view of glistening fragments of white bone, and the pink scrapes of flesh adhered to them. Senna began to tremble once more. She could not take her eyes off it. She could not forgive herself for the feeling disgusted her own sister, let alone tossing her aside like filth. Exactly like back then. When she had seen her mother's last moments, her mother had died while ruled completely by madness. So nestled within her mother's arms, her sister has been shredded to pieces and consumed, left only as a heap of pitiful remains. Small as the sight she had been forced to witness, rather than sadness or horror, what she had felt was pure utter revulsion. Remnants of guilt remained lodged deep within her chest. Despising her father was a way of averting her eyes from that emotion.
私
Even though part of her very much knew that it was an attack brought on by a delusion, reawakening feelings had been sealed deep within her heart, leaving her entirely motionless, as if her wrists and ankles were bound. Damn the Noah 2. It's too powerful. Senna was not the only one suffering from such a state. Koza was as well. An enormous mirror materialized in front of the collapsed girl, and within it, a reflection of her with her legs covered in blood asked her a simple question.
お前は誰
Oh no. I can go crazy. Koza froze in tears. A terror, large tears began to flow from her eyes. The one she wanted to forget, the past she never wanted to remember. Tears of a deep decay began leaking from her heart and mind. She wanted to run away, as far as her legs could take her. Desiring nothing more than to look away from the mirror, she wished to turn away. Forgoing her will entirely, her body refused to move. Herself on the other side of the mirror, was not shedding even a single tear.
お前は誰
Omae wa dare?
お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰お前は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰私は誰
Just collapsing into. Oops! What was that? Gestaltsurfall. Why is that? But I know Gestalt. We learned that in like film class. Yeah. It's gonna be the German word for form. That is not quite what it means at all. Sort of. Human brain perceives the question. Alright. Silly there, the rest of it, but still. Oops. It's like when she lost all her words so long ago, just like when her heart and mind had been broken so long ago. No longer able to see herself, she herself questioned herself in the mirror. Lacked any certainty that it was her own voice. Lacked any certainty that it was her own hairstyle. Lacked any certainty that it was her own nose. Okay, how long is it going to go on for? She lacked any certainty that it was her own pair of eyes. Lacked any certainty that it was her own fullness of her own lips. Okay, can we go concerned that it was her own shape? How long does this go on for? Is trying to make me go crazy? Well, then it ends.
私は誰
No, it's clones.
君はコズピーだよ。
Was a beat. Shape of the mirror began on the cusp of dividing infinitely. With a voice that suddenly burst into her mind and put a stop to it.
私はコズピー私はコズピー
Reconfirmed her identity, Kozue returned to herself. Cracks ripped through the enormous mirror before her and it shattered to pieces. Kozue searched for the voice of her savior. When her gaze arrived at the ticket gate, she recognized exactly who it was. Real voice, the one that had been lost forever, called out to him. Oh, she actually talked. Kozubi called out, not with the inner voice, but with the real voice. Really, this is the first time I'd ever heard her use it. It was thanks to Kozubi that I managed to get over here so quickly. I went next to a police box at the top of the Dogenzaku and I heard her inner voice screaming for help. Ran towards that voice. That brought me here. When I got here, I saw it. Lieutenant Kozubi, faces pale from shown a delusion I couldn't see. And Hatano-san collapsed and covered in blood. Found them, but I was too late. There he is!
こいつはラッキーっすね。
Evil Suwa. It's Wheeler Suwa. A man with a gun in his hand was standing at the crossing. He twirled and whirled it in his fingers as if some kind of gunslinger. Contrasted heavily with the suit he was wearing, he had a rucksack on his back. Harsh mechanical noise was emanating from it. Suwa Mamoru, detective from the Tokyo MPD's 1st Investigative Division. The first time I ran into him, I knew exactly what he'd
も
done.
ともとは目障りな畑の親子を処分しに来たんすけどね。
The knowing ass Hatano's.
西条くん、君が自分から火に飛び込んできてくれて感謝感激っす。君を見かけたら捕まえろってことになってるんすよ。
Nice.
誰に？
内緒っす。
Is it Norose? Smiled a flippant smile. One that was somewhat reminiscent of the detective Bonds. There's one key difference. Bonds might have always been an act meant to throw people off or rile them up. Came to Sue, however, this last man was truly who he
あん
was.
たはノロセの居場所を知ってる？
西条くんさ。
Sue heaved his sigh, shaking his head in extremely exaggerated emotion.
口の利き方に気をつけてほしいっすね。自分の方が年上っすよ。
バンっていう人を殺したのはあんただ。
だから
刑事のくせに人を殺すなんて。
君には言われたくないっす。
I gripped my D-sword tightly.
あんたみたいなやつに敬語を使う義理なんてないよ。
そんな舐めた口聞いていいんすか？殺すぞ。
It's all crazy
童
now.
貞野郎。
What? How does he know? It's because of my shelf of waifus? I gave him away! Even from the distance, it was clear to see. A smile on Sua's face and disappeared. Not moving from where he was. He gestured with his free hand like he was trying to shake something off. Impact, followed by pain. It was all too an abrupt sensation. Looked at my shoulder in surprise. I saw a familiar-looking cross pierce into it. No! It was not a cross, it was a stake. Cross-shaped stake from the crucifixion case. It wouldn't be too fast to see. The area was so dark I didn't realize it was flying towards me until it already hit me. Sue had thrown it without moving from his spot. He threw it from that distance with pinpoint accuracy. I cautiously touched the stake. It felt cold and smooth. Was it a delusion, or was it real? The pain was growing more and more intense. I couldn't put any strength into my hand. I was able to hold my D sword anymore.
再現してやる
Sua raised his voice in an attempt to suppress his rage.
貼り付け事件再現
Crucifixion Case Part 2. A moment later, Sue was holding even more cross-shaped stakes in his hand. It was best to restrain his furious rage that was on the verge of pouring out. Oh, no music. Right off the additional stakes towards the Shiji... No, I went so far. Toward Nishijo Takumi. It disregarded all former drags and laws of physics altogether. They possessed wills of their own. They sped intently toward Takumi's arms. Each had found their mark thus far, not a single one had missed. They assaulted Takumi's shoulders, upper arms, wrists, palms, hips, thighs, knees, and shins. But blood spilled from every one of his deeply carved wounds.
絶対に外れないダーツってのはあんま面白くないけどな
Two already had another stake in his hand. Once again, he fired off just like the others.
自分が万能の神になったような気がするんだ
Incredibly strange sensation. Oh, not listen to me anyway, Sua thought to himself. Everyone who carved his body feels more and more alive. So he another stake toward Takumi, who hung his head at the mercy of his attacker.
俺はただの人間だけどなお前らと同等の力を手に入れた
No, he's got the same powers. Got delusion powers. Gigolomaniac. All can be attributed to the rucksack he's wearing on his back. A bag housing No2 terminal within. Oh, that gives him his powers. With that, he can enjoy No2's power even at a distance. Become artificial Gigolomaniac. He found himself fully bewitched by its power. The fanatics cannot be dirtiest of deeds in the name of the founder and his teachings. He's also vanguards.
この力は神からの贈り物だ信仰のため信じる者のために戦えるんだから
No, this crazy cult. So hold yet another stake. Let's hit Takumi's neck. There seems to be two versions here. I was racked with extreme pain. Pain felt like my entire body was being torn in two. Pain so horrible I felt like I might go insane. Boiling, ruthless, bloodless, simmering Sua's heart demanded to know just how much the boy could endure. I say, this is both of their things at once. Bringing forth the torture taking place, death began to rear its head. He would make death rear its head for him. No, it switches back and forth though. I was able to resist, while I still managed to put enough force into my legs to stop from falling over. Now that I can put the hail of stakes coming at me. My chest, my stomach, my toes, my entire body. The bursting side stakes, thick and sharp, were continually pounded into me.
虫ピンで標本にされた昆虫みたいだなしかもカブトムシとか蝶とかじゃないお前みたいなガキにはコガネムシあたりがお似合いだ
Couldn't stand for another second. The power alone was all that's keeping me from collapsing. I was almost on my limit. I feel the vision was becoming pixelated. It's hard to see anymore.
遺言があるならいいな。ただし20時以内。
Well, they cut to the next day. Sue was talking to me as if he'd already won. X would kill me.
さっき童貞やろうって言った。
I had sex with Seiratan.
傷ついたのか。
Using his voice in the distance of the guide, I glared in Sue's direction. Sue said he glared at him.
これが最後の一本。信仰の救いは
No.
お前にはやらねえよ。
I could sense the air tearing around the stake that Sue had hurled.
知ってる。
The stake would serve as the cross, the messenger bringing both certain death and the promised gospel. Come to whoever it struck.
童貞の妄想力はすごいんだ。
Dull thud resounded. Ah, 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 ah. The stake deeply penetrated his forehead. A burst of pain exploded within Sue, gushing forth from every part of his body. He let out a mute scream rather than agony. An array of cross-shaped stakes penetrated Sue's entire body. When he looked up, he saw the cross-shaped stake embedded in his forehead.
復活の奇跡は物語で妄想なんだ。
But he said he couldn't heal yourself. But only he can because he's like super powerful.
何を知った。
Made you me. Super simple.
妄想シンクロ。
Delusion synchro. Assimilation unto a delusion, or erosion unto the mind. Like two ripples negating each other, resonating with one another. Tangling together, melting together. With distorts created by one. Switching them out. When it's possible, Sue thought to himself.
神の先兵ならメシアと同じように朽ち果てろ。
You're the Messiah, you must be killed. Takumi tossed the stake away. Colors quickly faded from Sue's field of vision.
それと僕は救いなんかいらないよ。
Sue could no longer reply. Without falling to the ground, he breathed his final breath. Made my way back into the station. Kosumi's eyes were wide, her mouth hung open. She must have been completely stunned. Seeing all that must have really surprised her. Her leg was covered in so much blood it was hard to look
コ
at.
ズピー大丈夫。
Not getting up from the ground, she nodded. It looked like she was able to stand on her own. Her shimmering eyes looked up at me.
たくみさん、今何が起きたの？
Kosumi, you're talking out loud.
あ、本当だ。
Putting her finger to her lips, she tilted her head in surprise. But she seemed to forget about it pretty quickly after that.
童貞さんの妄想力はすごいの？
すごいよ。
Tana was told me ignorance was a sin, but I don't quite agree with him. With that, not knowing things goes hand in hand with delusions. The less you know, the more your delusions can grow and surge to the point of infinity reality, really. Therefore, if you already know and have experienced everything, there'd be nothing left to fantasize about. There's one thing virgins definitely lack, it's experience. It only makes her sense of delusions the best around. Speaking of Senna, where was she? I searched the dimly lit platform for her. She was standing at the edge of the platform, hanging her head, and her feet.
畑野さん。
Was Hatano Issei, lying in a pool of his own blood. He showed no sign of moving, leading me to realize he was already dead. I was too late. So anyone was going to find Noah too. It would have been him.
ノア2は渋谷駅のすぐ横に
What?
あ
How
る。
do you know?
Huh?
She read my mind. With her eyes still aiming down at Hatano-san, the corpse of her dead father, Senna began to murmur
こ
something.
の男が死ぬ間際に私の心に伝えてきた。 渋谷駅の東口。ビルの屋上にある。今は閉鎖されたプラネタリウム。
It's in the planetarium.
そこに
Planetarium.
ノア2がある。
どうも。
I wasn't sure if I should have said something to her or just stayed silent. She hated her father, enough to want him dead. Even though her wish had come true, where I stood, she looked miserable as could be.
くそ。私をかばって。それで罪を償ったつもりか。
Rosa targeted her father's lifeless corpse. He said nothing in return, he never would again.
お前は自分の罪を認めた。その上で私に見せつけるように。自殺したようなものだ。許せない。私はお前を許さない。
セナさん、心が泣いてるの。本当はお父さん殺したくなかったのら。
It was just as supposed to be said. Those words said as usual, his lip demeanor disappeared. Her shoulders trembled, heartbroken, she fell to her knees.
どうして生きて罪を償おうとしないんだ。どうして私を一人にするんだ。どうして。
Wait, isn't this any kind of evil?
西条、お願い。
Senna raised her head. The teary expression on her face now was nothing like the stern one she always wore.
ノア2を
Let's,
壊して。
let's kill Noah too. Suffering from unbearable grief, she spoke with the fragility of a girl who had just lost the only family she had left.
僕を殺そうとしたくせに。君のお願いなんて聞く義理はないよ。
匠さん。
Coming back towards Senna and Kosubi, began to march down the tunnel to Shibuya Station. From your two giant gaping holes, deep darkness stretched deep inside both of them. As them would be the quickest way to get to Shibuya Station.
僕は僕の目的のためだけにノア2を壊す。絶対に。
I had a feeling Senna said something after that, but I wasn't listening anymore. A single colossal device held the attention of two men. Inohana Kozo, member of the House of Representatives, Kuromochi Yudai, founder of the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light. Ominous hum continually sounded from the device from Noah 2, beckoning and not satisfaction from the both of them.
5000人を殺すと言い出した時はどうなることかと思ったが。
調整には随分と骨が折れたよ。特に300人委員会に感づかれないようにするのはね。
ご協力に感謝します。
Notice to give a very slight bow. Now we know those two guys in the council were the alt guy and the government guy.
だがこれが完成した今、5000人などちっぽけな数字でしかなくなった。
早くも影響が目に見えて出てきているよ。人々の家畜化が始まっている。
Domestication of man has begun.
これでいよいよ我らが世界を手に入れる日も現実のものとなったわけだ。
And Kuromochi looked at one another, exchanged some smirks. These guys do this now. They keep using the ware ware for we, and it makes me think of Rion. Oreste, meanwhile, simply gazed at them, his face not even so much as twitching.
しかしのろせよ。貴様、なかなか興味深い趣味を持っているようじゃないか。
Yeah.
何のことでしょう。
Inohana smiled crudely, then gestured with his head towards the tableau erected near Noah, too.
なんとも芸術性にあふれるオブジェだ。ぜひわしにも一つ用意してもらいたいものだな。
素材ならば我が教団の信者の中からえりすぐりを提供してもよい。
I'll just give you random cult members to sacrifice.
倉持先生は気前がいい。
あれは
餌ですよ。
餌？
ノア2をより完璧なものにするための。
What's up, Mr. Rip? It's going all right? It's gonna be super hot today here. It was like 104 yesterday. It's probably gonna be like 104, 105 today.
まあ、そういうことにしておこう。
I think it only got to like 75 degrees, like at the coldest last night.
それよりノア2が具体的にどれほどのことができるのか実演してもらいたいところだね。
もうそれはいい。早速やってみせたまえ。
Notice I shrugged his shoulders and passive facial expressions remaining ever present.
ではこのようなものはどうですか？
By the time his words reached their conclusion, the demonstration had already begun. In the blink of an eye, Nohan and Kuromachi came to realize they were both holding handguns. Neither the Noah 2 nor Norris had made a single movement, yet this miraculous happening had become an undeniable reality. Okay, he's used Noah 2 on them.
おお、本物そっくりだ。
まるで手品のようだよ。
手品と一緒にしてもらっては困ります。その銃の存在は現実。
Kill each other with them. My eyes fixated on the handguns within the grasp. Nohan and Kuromachi nodded in satisfaction for a second time.
実に素晴らしい。
80 last night, man. Try with the humidity, jeez. Yeah, I was like playing the rhythm game or whatever, and I left there at like 10 p.m. and it was still 85 or 86 or something. I was like, oh man, this sucks. When I was like actually playing the game, it was like 90 out. I went up to like, it was like ridiculous.
いかにも神をも超越する力だ。
この銃は記念にもらっておくとするか。
You can't keep it.
小物ですね。
The other two men present in the room, Norris's faint whisper was inaudible.
早速今後の計画を検討しよう。
まずは300人委員会の排除。
Must now kill the committee. Yeah, but here, yeah, it's super hot. Worse, like going to the garage. It's like, oh my god, dude. Like, I should like open the garage door just so it doesn't like, if there's any like plastic shit in the car or whatever, it might like melt.
ノロセ、ご苦労だったな。
今後のことは追って連絡する。
Future endeavors. Two were thoroughly pleased with themselves in the project and moved to leave the premises with buoyant steps. And yet,
その必要はありません。
uh-oh.
何？
どういうことだ？
Norris's expression found itself changing for the first time. Uh-oh. You know, he looks crazy now. He knew his eyes slightly raised his jaw and stared at them from where he stood. His attitude was one of intense scorn as he was fiercely looking down on them. No, in truth, he was looking down on
計
them.
画は私が引き継ぎましょう。ただし、あなた方の考えているような
Bakersfield, yeah.
低俗な目的ではなく、
Probably
よ
worse
り
out
崇
there.
高な理由のためにです。
Yeah, like I live like on a lake, so it shouldn't be too hot. And technically, when you go near it, there's still kind of a cool breeze blowing off it because the water's sort of cold. But and you can also go in it, which is also really nice. But still, the problem is like the lake's like this dam sort of. So like earlier in the summer, it's like once you get down there, it's like this is maybe like 10 or 15 feet to the lake. But now the water level is like 20 feet lower, so you got to walk like way out there. It's like maybe like a quarter mile or something to get to the water. It's like, oh man, this kind of sucks. God, Norris told me civil and polite, beginning to understand what exactly was conveying. The two men naturally became infuriated.
様、裏切るのか。
Shama,
神にでもなったつもりかね。
think you're God, Kami?
300人委員会が黙ってはおらんぞ。
お二人も
300人委員会のメンバーでありながら反旗を翻そうとしていた
I recorded
ではあ
everything
り
you
ませ
said.
んか。
Notice his eyes watched him carefully, and housed within them, was raw and in contempt. His gaze was as cold as could be, as if he was being forced to study two monoliths of pure rotten filth. His gaze conveyed a very particular meaning, one that had been revealed that he'd been using these two from the very start.
これは全て予定通りの行動ですよ。あなた方がここで死ぬことも含めて。
Uh-oh.
ふざけるな。
ざれ言を。
Kuromochi and Inohana aimed their guns at Norose. They moved to pull the triggers.
ざれ言ではなく、
Two guns were fired simultaneously. The roars echoed within the dome.
予知だったのですが。
Bullets just hit them. What happened? Yet, it was not Norose who had fallen, but Inohana and Kuromochi. I knew it. They shot each other. For some unfathomable reason, they'd taken the sights off Norose right before pulling the triggers and shot each other instead. Deaths of mid-instant. Two compatriots then collapsed. They'd put holes in each other's heads, and now they were nothing more than lumps of meat who would never draw breath again.
ノア2は我が手にあります。
I am God.
特別にはその意味がお分かりにはならなかったようだ。
Versus demonstration, more than simply showing off guns, was to make the two men mistake each other for Norose and take their own lives in the process. That was the real demonstration. With the power of Noah too, and beyond trivial to perform. Next, Norose turned toward his tableau. Fixed there was a figure of Rimi Sakihara. She had begged Norose to let Nanami go, and thus she'd been taken hostage in her place. Possibly to the mental attacks by Nanami, Rimi's energy had long since faded, leaving her head pointed towards the ground as she hung affixed. Yet, when Norose says the tableau is like a crucifix thing. I don't know if they keep saying tableau, I guess. We're trying to tone it down a bit. Yet when Norose strode towards her, her shoulders ever so slightly trembled.
自分の手を汚さずに卑怯なことばっかり。あなたこそ俗物だよ。
You're the hedonist. Back in Norose's hand struck her cheek. Following this, he grabbed Rimi by the jaw and forced her to look at him. Then nearly all the life had left her expression. Even as she desperately fought to keep her eyes open, her glare flared with an ardent blaze directed solely at Norose.
なぜ西条匠に助けを求めないのです。
So whispered close to her ear.
彼を巻き込まないで。
どちらの彼のことを言っているのですか？
The Shogun or the other one?
二人とも。だよ。
私としてはどちらか一人で十分ですがね。IR2 を生み出したものとその完全なるコピー。二人とも化け物じみた力を持っている。彼らどちらかのコードサンプルが手に入ればノア2はより完璧へと近づくでしょう。神をも超える力を得るのです。
Rimi lowered her eyes in anguish. Fiercely tore away the hand that had been holding her jaw. His gaze rose up to Noah too. A smile formed, and as his gaze rose up to Noah too, a smile formed from the corners of his mouth.
さあ、呼びかけなさい。どちらでもいい。私は歓迎しますよ。
Rather, that was exactly what he'd been waiting for. Just imagine all of Norose's trials devised specifically for him. Takumi would arrive in this very location. I made my way through the dark tunnel, or allowed the red glow of my D-sword to see. My steps naturally became quicker and quicker. I never walked on subway tracks at all before. As certain as I was no trains were coming, the mere possibility made me tense, enough that I could keep my head from frantically whipping back and forth. A minute-long train ride between Shibuya Station and Shinsen Station. This should have been less than a kilometer. Luckily for me, the tunnel in Inokashira line didn't have too many cave-ins, so making the Shibuya Station shouldn't have been the worst thing ever. But something was still weighing on me. Kosuke had warned me about something before we parted ways.
たくさんのグモグモドロドロっていう意識がね、待ち構えてるのら。
What?
コズピー、近 けど。気をつけてね、たくみさん。
Whoopie goopy poopy head consciousness, right. At the very least, I imagined I wasn't gonna be like those. I wasn't gonna be like those. I wasn't starting to have second thoughts. I was starting to have second thoughts. Fear crept up with me. I started to feel incredibly alone. Making my way through a pitch black tunnel all by myself, tunnel in which something horrifying was apparently waiting for me. Oh god, I lose my nerve. Whispers in the back of my mind urged me to leave the tunnel this instant. Find a way to Shibuya Station on the surface. But I didn't have that kind of time to lose. So in order to destroy any remaining fear I had, I thought of Rimi's smiling face. I thrust my D-sword forward to illuminate the tunnel ahead of me. Problem was, this red glow lit my feelings of anxiety and foreboding even worse. Suddenly something fell off. I felt like I caught a glimpse of something strange enough to make my gaze dart all around to try to find it. A meters ahead of me on the track, a small shadow was jutting out. And I hadn't been there a second ago. I squinted. Actually, it wasn't a shadow at all. Standing at about 20 centimeters tall, it was a Seiratan figure. What the? Why are we in a place like this? To the sensors of whiplash. It was way too out of place. It was in a dim underground tunnel, one for the train tracks that took people between stations. It'd be so funny if the Seiratan figure had a D-sword. The general public didn't tend to go into the tunnel themselves, especially this deep. It was right in the center of them. Yet the figure was there anyway. And it was a post-awakening version too, my absolute favorite, though her chest was pretty busted up. Wait a second. Is that my figure? The one I dropped during the chaos at Scramble Crossing yesterday? Who was, and how the hell did he end up here? He was standing perfectly upright, too. The bewitching smile of hers aimed straight at me.
なんでセイラが
タッキーにはそう見えてるんだ。
I heard a voice. The voice I was deluded was talking inside my head. Seira's voice.
なんでもいいけどさ。
Happened in less than a second. Faster than I could even blink. Seiratan, which had been just a small figure, instantly transformed into a life-size model. Then her smooth, silky, sexy body began to bend and twist just like a real person's. Her wrestled around, and her huge tits jiggled. Was this a delusion?
ねえタッキー、遊ぼうよ。
Nah. I heard a voice behind me. Moving my head on in shock, I saw another life-size Seiratan standing there.
リミッチのことなんてほっといてさ。
Didn't end there. To my left and to my right. Seiratans became rapidly multiplying. She cascaded out of the darkness in droves. The sight of sun alone sent a chill down my spine. The number of Seiratans would be at least in the triple digits now. No!
私と気持ちいいことしよう。
Too many. 100 Seiratans crowded around me and spoke in unison.
一緒ボケナス。
Laughing gleefully, one of the Seiratans in front of charged me. Then her slender arms swung her colossal metal bat, just like Momo Watanabe. Impact was definitely real. My D-sword managed to take the brunt of the blow. Way too heavy of a strike. My hand started spasming before going numb. It hurt like hell. That's when I realized it's all really happening. It wasn't just some delusion, it was reality. These are real booted beings. Every single one of them was out for blood.
遊んでくれないとぶっ飛ばしちゃうぞ。
僕の嫁なら道を開けて。
やだ。
What? You're my waifu?
それなら
I have to kill you. To brute force my way through. I tightened my grip on my D-sword. The fiery emblem on my D-sword's hilt began to burn. Even more red light began to emanate from the blade. I slashed the sword, tearing right through my waifu. The blade was weightless, something smoother than how it handled. It drove whatever trajectory I wished it to. The blade bit into her shoulder before riding through her body in its entirety. It had a shred of resistance when it came to rending her flesh and bone. It didn't take any strength from me at all. There's glamorous body split in half at an angle. As her entrails piled out, she collapsed on the spot. Her organs had been purposely reproduced. They glittered and shone with a pink gleam. I averted my eyes.
ごめんセイラ。
Sorry, Seira. I was guiding my favorite character with my own two hands. As Notako, this is the hardest thing I ever had to do. But still, I couldn't give up here.
強い強い。さすがタッキー。そんなタッキーが好き。もっと気持ちよくして。遊ぼうよ。めちゃくちゃにしてあげる。
Suddenly each one of the Sarah's tons started speaking independently of one another. A flood of voices threatened to swallow me whole. Uh-oh. I had to quit thinking of them as Sarah. That's like I had to tell myself. So in order to keep moving forward, I swung my sword at the Sarahs blocking my path.
どいてよ。
Ran into the darkness with a single horizontal strike, a red beam blazed across the tunnel. Four Seratons standing next to each other were instantly turned into corpses. The one grabbed me from behind. She wrapped her arms around my neck in a chokehold. Her large, supple boobs pressed against my back. When the Sarah tried to mount my leg, I quickly punctured it in her face with my D-sword. Whoops. There's a cut molten hole where it hit, I think it said. It's hard to breathe. My neck was being constricted. I was on the verge of suffocating.
浮気しちゃダメ。
The metal bat was coming right at me. I managed to writhe around enough to change positions, and now my back was facing it. I felt Sarah's body shudder and her grip on my neck weakened. Oh, I see. Made them hit each other.
リミッチのことなんて忘れて。
Shook her off my back, then I whipped around and swiped with my D-sword. 3 pairs of Seraton's legs came at me. The next strike would sever them with the thighs. 2 of them plunged to the ground with perfect harmony. I stepped on top of their backs.
強い男って好き。
Sarah started winding up her metal bat, and I swung my sword down on her. Metal bat met with my D-sword. I'm gonna carve straight through it, straight through the top of her head. No, my D-sword wasn't carving things. More than that, it would be more accurate to say it evaporated anything that crossed within its trajectory. No matter how soft the object, no matter how solid the object, no matter how cold the object, no matter how hot the object, my blade instantly boiled and burned away anything came into contact with, severing it from its source. These anime characters, all the same face, they all chant my name in unison and continue to attack me just for the sake of it. And my hair stand on end. Trying to rile myself, I let out a huge scream. Aiming for the Sarah right in front of me, I plunged my sword straight into her chest. Sarah grabbed onto my D-sword. Almost at the exact second her hands evaporated.
熱いよ。
Lost all words, dread began to climb up from the depths of my body. Shoulders down my back, my entire body stiffened. This wasn't Sarah. She would never turn against me.
タッキーのボケナス。
The sound of several of my ribs being pulverized. He felt the bones of my right arm creak, and letting out a dull sound as they did. The blow resounded within my body, and then, sheer impact sent me flying. Smashed into a wall. My head collided directly with it. Vision warped and wavered.
腕組みしよう。
Rapidly swung a metal bat down on top of me. I was getting bludgeoned. Left arm was minced from the elbow down. Even the concrete in the wall was dented from the blow.
腕が。タッキー逃がさない。
Another metal bat swung straight into my leg. All the strength left my right hand. The slightest movement caused a severe pain to scream out in my brain. I ignored it. I swung my D-sword. Clearly severed the oncoming metal bat, but the pain from doing so forced a groan from my mouth. It came within arm's reach of the Sarah in front of me. I impaled the torso with my D-sword and tore my way through her. Blood spattered my hands. Despite being just an anime character, her blood was incredibly warm. My mind went numb. Pain was all that ruled me now. I wanted to lock it away, but I couldn't. As long as this pain endured, I would never be able to. Copious amounts of clotted blood gushed out of my flattened left hand. It wasn't easy to think, trying to hold on a D-sword with my right either. Pain seemed to reverberate from my very bones. Pain so bad I felt like I was about to pass out. This, my entire body was soaked with sweat. The droplets stung in my eyes. No, it was too many. My vision was hazy. More than half. More and more sailors approached from in front of me. Now that cheerful laughter reverberated deep within my ears, making my very eardrums vibrate. My injuries, I doubted I lived for more than a few hours. That something came to me, but it didn't really matter. It was just a delusion anyway. Pain that would blink out of existence just as quickly as it blinked in. In the grand scheme of things, my injuries didn't really matter. It seemed to save Rima. I needed to destroy Noah too. So if I could grant that, then I'd gladly give it all away. So...
一応飽きてよ。
一緒にいようよ。
Another bat came down on me again, but I figured I'd avoid it. The fatigue and pain slowed my reaction considerably. Struck right in the temple. I could feel its enormous spikes tearing into my skull. My world shook, my vision went black, things got even darker than they'd already been. I could no longer see anything at all. I tumbled over. As I tumbled over, my mind went to my right hand. It was splitting with pain. I was able to reaffirm that my D-sword was still there. Swung on my flattened left hand, they attempted to regain my footing. Exposed bone collided with the ground. An impact akin to electric shock right through my entire body caused me to black out for a second, but I regained consciousness soon after. Vision came back, started to raise up. This is my feet caught hold of the ground. Using this centrifugal force I've been blown away with, I charged into the horde of Seiras and swung my right hand. The bones creaked. Freshly swelled blood burst from the Seiras. The stench of blood refused to leave my nostrils. Was it my blood? Seira's blood? Who even knew? All blended together. All I knew was I was covered in blood. The coat of red staining me had made my vision go blurry. I kept on carving into them. Who knew just how many I cut down at that point? When would it end? Mine, it was as if she was multiplying indefinitely. So I clinked on my right hand. I swung both her and my D-sword around. She wouldn't let go, since she bent my arm backwards the way it wasn't meant to go. Arm lock! My jaw came out of its socket. All shock left my arm. My D-sword hit the ground. Nausea welled up within my stomach. I coughed and sputtered violently. The taste of blood spread through my mouth. I was pretty sure my shattered ribs were puncturing my internal organs. Every kind of pain was eating away at my body. I felt like I was going to go insane. I was holding out hope. I couldn't help but hold out hope. I wanted to be set free, but I knew how very impossible that was. My hope was wishful thinking more than anything. Big grin on her face, Seira peered at my face, and I drove my foot into her jaw as hard as I could. More speech had more strength than my right arm. All sensation in it was going numb. What as my nerves were burning to a crisp, my entire body was boiling, and now the pain in my bones was ripping more than just not through my arm, but through my entire body. It's on the verge of shattering to pieces. Then I heard something sound like a growl of a beast. For a moment, I wondered whose voice it was, when I realized it was my own. Fingers on my right hand faintly shifted. I grabbed my D-sword and conjured a delusion. I pictured it being bound by a cord. As it became real, the cord was secured to my hand with the cord. I needed to move, to get to see where Rimi was, beyond this darkness. Now the sword's attached to my hand, like Evil Dead. Taki, don't you want to stay away? I sputtered out the blood that gathered in my mouth. I was surrounded by heaps of Seira corpses lying on the ground. Other Seiras kicked past on their way to me, producing ripples in the puddles of blood. I slowly shook my head.
だって、セーラは
Gritted my teeth.
アニメじゃないか。
No, they went away. The very next second, Ava Seira morphed into 2D. The ones who were standing became life-size cardboard cutouts. The corpses lying on the ground making covers for body pillows. They all returned home, back to the realm of 2D. Not a single one of them moved anymore.
チリは、チリに帰らなきゃ。
Am I still hurt though?
僕も、後で行くよ。
Atode. Something of a moan of silence for the girls. I briefly hung my head over the wreckage. In the back of my mind, I was thinking of that gory bloodstained Seira body pillow covers. Definitely wouldn't sell well. On the brink of passing out, but I managed to stave it off by biting my lip hard. I started walking through the dark tunnel once again. Ended up at a dilapidated building near Shibuya Station's east entrance. The surrounding scenery was dotted with partly or entirely collapsed buildings, leaving the building here as the sole intact survivor. On it was the dome of a rooftop planetarium that had closed down some years back. Oh no, where's Norose? Easing my lungs out, I ascended the deserted stairway to the top floor. I made my way to the unattended lobby into the planetarium before I took a breather at the gargantuan device that jumped into my sight. It was Noah 2 in all its majesty, surrounded by chilly air, robbing me of my warmth. A piece of art stood beside Noah 2. Rimi fixed the art piece, slowly raised her head at my voice. Oh no! On the tableau. Our eyes met. Her eyes shot open. Her eyes began to swim.
かだよ。
Shook her head sadly.
そんなキスだらけになって、そんな無茶して待っててって言ったのに、なんで。
Because I fall in love with you. I'm in love with you, Rimi. I couldn't say that out loud. Couldn't say anything heroic like I'm here to save you because I'm in love with you. Not with how I was, not with me covered in blood and a completely flattened arm. My current state was far from Prince Charming as humanly possible. If I said something like that now, I'd probably look creepy as hell. I'm closer to a stalker than anything, really. Pulled my guts out of her in some speech that didn't let her get a word in. Would have just put her way off. She was going to live and I was going to die. Maybe some dead man walking, convey all his feelings on a whim would have left a horrible taste in her mouth. So I bottled it all
意味
in.
にこれを返したくて。
My hand was still weak. The hand I used to hold my D sword. Desperately forced my fingers to move. I reached inside my jacket pocket and pulled out a handkerchief. But a gentle vermilion. Whether that was its original hue or due to my blood stain, I didn't know. Rimi gave it to me, though its floral aroma had long since expired. The handkerchief was one of several precious memories she'd given me.
僕は君をここから助け出してノア2を壊して
Let's kill Noah too.
このハンカチを返すんだ。
All I was capable of doing. If I managed to achieve it all, I could die with no regrets. But it wasn't really much I could do. My every sense of mine had gone numb long time ago. I managed that the reason that was because the pain was so severe, my brain had no but start blocking the sensations transmitted by whatever nerves were responsible. Jesus. I barely moved. My arm continued to bleed. My vision was blurry. Incredibly cold. I had a feeling that if I wasn't careful, I'd lose consciousness right here and there.
君は実に勇敢ですね。
He's clapping. Towering man emerged from behind Noah too. Orosa Genichi faced me, clapped sarcastically with no clear expression on his face.
しかし致命的なことが一つあります。行動原理が感情に根ざしているということです。それは野蛮人のすることだ。
I had no idea what he was getting at. Everything had just to bear with the pain, so aside from Rimi, I didn't have any brain power left to try and comprehend what anyone was saying.
逃げて。
小を犠牲にして大の利益を守る。それを悪だと思いますか？私はそうは思いません。このままでは人類はいずれ滅び去る。
He's gone mad.
人の欲望によってです。
He's gone mad and he's religious.
あまりにも醜い心。あまりに利己的な欲望の洪水。
Damn it.
人の社会はすでに破綻し、腐り落ちようとしています。誰もが己のことしか考えず、その結果殺し合い、奪い合っています。君もギガロマニアックスとして覚醒したのなら見たはずですよ。人の心の本質を。私は幼い頃に覚醒したため、もう何十年という間、それを見てきた。
Oh man. So Gigalomaniacs go crazy.
300人委員会は人類の自滅を阻止するためという大義名分のもと、世界人間牧場計画を推し進めてきました。けれどそれも所詮、彼らのエゴを満たすものでしかない。私が目指すのはそんなものではありません。悟ったのですよ。この腐った世界を再生するためには、社会のシステムを変えるのではなく、世界中すべての人間の心を変える必要があるのだと。そのためのプロジェクトノアです。ノア2があれば世界中すべての人間から負の妄想を消し去り、清廉な心へと漂白できます。争いは消え、 世界に永遠の平和を与えることができます。君も誰かに蔑まれることもなくなるでしょう。
I lose my powers, though? Finally, his novel-like monologue came to a close. My body was on the verge of collapse, but I desperately planted my feet. At least I got a bit of a break. There's the only reason I was still standing.
あんたの言ってることはもしかしたら正しいかもしれない。
Really didn't pay that much attention. But regarding the future of humanity, he was definitely right. The ideals were entirely righteous. He was president of a sprawling corporation, and his eye was aimed solely on justice for all of mankind. Me, meanwhile, I was a monster, a virgin, and a taco freak. Selfish, ego-driven wannabe who just wanted to save some girl he liked, but shit about anything else. Nor would that make me the bad guy through and through. The monster that wouldn't be slain and justice would prevail.
でも僕はあんたには負けられない。
なぜ否定するのです？
ただの自己満足だ。
I just feel like it.
残念です。
His gaze locked onto me. Noticed he grabbed Ring by the collar and threw her off the art piece. Right hand then stretched out in front of it. He's got a D sword. Oh Jesus! Look at the size of his freaking D sword. Oh my God, we're fucked. We are fucked. The ephemeral moment. The one standing art piece found itself in Norosi's hand. It wasn't a mere art piece, nor was the cross that existed for crucifixion. This is goddamn D sword. Whoa. It was a D sword. Far too monstrous to be called a sword. Savagery. Galidity. That which sowed terror. Contaminated gospel. Chaos thoroughly complexified. Blasphemy which was wished to desecrate. Purest of evils. Come the very gates of hell themselves. Hearts of those who gazed upon it would be wrenched away, luring them to eon of strife. All that was negative in this world conversion to one. Combined in its very shape. I gulped back all the saliva that built up in my throat, despite everything I made up my mind. I took my grip on my D-sword, which stood out in my hand with the cord, and then took a single step towards Noah too. More accurately speaking, I banded close distance between Norose and myself. Speaking of distance, he had an overwhelming advantage in range over me.
剣で切り合うような野蛮な行為はあまり得意ではないのですがね。しかし、君からコードサンプルを手に入れる必要があります。そのために無力化しなければね。
Oh. Towering over me with one hand, Norose swung a D-sword even bigger than he was. Seen those since Final Fantasy VII. He's already like over 10 years old at this point. This game was made. More than 10 years. The strike was so heavy it felt as if it would pulverize any known object out there. My arm was so slow to respond, even moving it slightly made my pain explode through it. Even so, I was forced to do so, and raised my arm. I caught the blow with my D-sword. A normal sword would have split right in two. I wasn't even accounting for how unbelievably thin my sword was. Could have been more different from Norose. It could have been more different from Norose's, and yet my D-sword didn't break. Somehow I managed to parry Norose's first strike. I went numb. My left hand pulverized. My balance on that side was non-existent. The stance I had hoped holding collapsed. Like if he was about to send me flying. I just had to endure it. I connected with Norose's second blow. His cover between strikes was way too fast. I've been misled by how his sword looks, so I told myself. The battle of strength. A sword that was far too thin and delicate. A sword that was far too colossal and ferocious. I was holding out with it, at least for the moment. 4 times now, 4 times our blades had crossed. But this time the position of Norose's hands began to change. Like he was clutching the guard with the sword now. And then his sword began to writhe. With that eerie noise, its mandible mechanisms groaned. Blade's edge split into 2, opening into a pair of scissors. That was thrust towards my very chest. An alteration. Right then I came to realize it would be the end of me. I counter-swung my sword down in front of me. It was too late. No! Its forked point sank straight into my chest. Your sword's too cool. I call a smile from Norose's lips, loosened his grips on the guard. The colossal scissors slammed shut. My chest, my ribs, and my lungs were all devoured. Desperately stumbled back. Right when I did that, Norris swept his arm straight across. My own fresh blood danced before my eyes. Pain spiked through my entire body. You know, my senses were supposed to have been numbed. I was on the verge of screaming out with whatever remained of my lungs. Even so, I clenched my teeth and endured it. My chest had been thoroughly minced. Not for stepping back when I did. It would have hit my heart. Massive quantities of blood spilled out. Nearly toppled over, but I caught myself at the last second. I can't die here. Didn't come this far just to die. I ignored Norose. Instead of him, I pushed Noa2 and Rimi, the latter of which had collapsed on the ground. Took every fiber of my being, but I did it all the same. Raising her head from the ground, Rimi looked in my direction. She was likely exhausted. There was no way her body had any strength left. Fatigue, or maybe just my injuries, continued to wear me down. My vision grew blurrier. I wasn't sure what sort of face Rimi was making as she looked at me. I didn't meet her gaze. I couldn't bear for her to see me like this, bloody and beaten to a pulp. That was the sole minuscule bit of pride I had left. Even my deathbed, that was where I drew the line. I advanced towards Noa2. My D-sword was already within range. Oddly enough, Norisa stayed behind me, ignoring that I was leaving him behind. All of a sudden, a cheery melody began to ring throughout the dome. Not the song again. You may pass. Noa2 towered over me. The sound emanated from it became even more shrill. Deep within all its majesty, I sensed something incredibly strange and enigmatic moving around. For a split second, I flinched, albeit slowly. I managed to take a stance with the blade at my hip, aimed towards Noa2's nearly organic-looking, tube-covered exterior, and bulldozed it with my D-sword. As I noticed, at some point or another, Noa2 had vanished from my sight. Now, somehow, I was standing with my back to it. I knew for a fact I'd been trying to destroy it. There wasn't a single damn reason for me to have turned around. Yet, that was the direction I was facing. Very center of my blurred vision, Norisa was standing there, not Noa2. I turned my sword, swinging my D-sword at it for a second time. Even though I fully intended to turn around, I hadn't. I had the will to turn myself around, but I hadn't made the motion to do so, and yet the end result was one where I hadn't actually turned around. I was hit with a wave of utter confusion. You just can't hit it. Norisa's quiet voice resounded from within the dome, pulling and mixing together with the melody of You May Pass. Use his sword. When he finished speaking, he leisurely walked closer to me. That was the easiest thing in the world. He raised his colossal D-sword above his head. I clenched my teeth. I lost a lot of blood. I couldn't think clearly, even though I didn't have the slightest bit of sensation in my right hand. I shoved the pain into the fact I couldn't move properly aside. I lifted it up in a desperate attempt to deflect the next blow. And the D-sword that somehow still remained attached to my hand with the cord was sent flying by a staggering impact. Tumbled across the floor, far, far away from me. It's astonishing seeing it off. Fixing my gaze back in front of me, I was met with Norisa's sneering figure, and then, as if warning, as if to urge my mind forward, the melody changed. Norisa's stance told me he had already prepared to strike again. He's about to bring that sword crashing down on me. It was all too overwhelming. It was all too devastating, all too brutal. That was his D-sword. It was coming down on me when I was completely unarmed. I had no way of stopping his strike. I was a sitting duck. Me forced away between Norisa and me. Her soft touch enveloped my face. Over Rimi's chest. She had wrapped her arms around me almost like a tender embrace. She was protecting me from Norisa. Norisa sighed quietly, lowering his sword. Rimi had saved me once again, even though I told her I was here to save her. How fucking pathetic was that? And with a wave of intense frustration, I slid my right hand under her body and thrust it inside her blouse. What? Taku. Felt the sensation of the coarse, warm underwear lying atop her skin. I felt the pain of her gashes in my chest, and the pain of my amputated left hand, and the pain of my dislocated right arm, the pain of my dysfunctional lungs as I struggled to breathe. But if I felt Lao, surely I could heal all of it. Rimi's underwear, Rimi's bare skin. I must molest you. Sorry, it's for your own good. I tore off the buttons of her blouse, ripped away the clothing that was keeping her body hidden away from me. I exposed her bra. I grabbed her tightly, right through her bra, reaching her ample breasts. My blood-smeared right hand had squeezed her, rubbed my body with my blood, her bra, her bare skin. I felt its elasticity, such soft, tender skin. I mean, why around attempt to escape? I grabbed her tightly and didn't let her go. I left my face in her breast. Her skin was velvety, so comfortable, as if it was drawing me in. Then my right hand began to grope beneath her skirt.
やめてよ。タク、こんなのやだよ。
I gasped. I got off her. When I realized what I'd been trying to do, I was genuinely shocked. It was Noah Tua's fault, I'm telling you. Even though I'd gotten off her, Remy tightly clutched her chest and continued to sob sadly. She protected me. Why had I done that? Why the hell had I done that, especially at a time like this? Why was I the one making Remy cry?
本当は先畑リミを犯したいんでしょ。
My own voice echoed within my head. Shocked, I know, it's crazy, Andy. Shocked, I swallowed back my saliva. What was shocking me was the fact that he was right. As he'd seen through me, who was he to begin with? It's my own voice, my inner voice, my true nature?
ここで物にしておかないと将軍に寝取られちゃう。
That's Shogun, goddammit. That's also me.
野郎にリミはやられちゃうんだよ。
Goddamn you, Noah too.
寝取られるなんて嫌じゃねえ。まあ、もうすでにやられちゃってる可能性もあるけどさ。
What? He's all too old, isn't he? My true nature continued to whisper to me. Stop it. Stop saying this shit. I don't believe a single word you're saying. I could cover my ears even if I wanted to, considering my lack of a left hand. Remy was just lying there sobbing, unable to fix her messy clothes. Just seeing her face like that shattered my heart.
片思いでいいとか綺麗事言ってないでさ。犯しちゃえって。ノロセはそれをする時間ぐらい待ってくれるってよ。
Yeah, what's Norose doing? Just
僕はもう
watching?
すぐ死ぬんだ。恨まれたってへでもないって。やりたいことやって死のうよ。僕のこのかわいそうな境遇ならここでちょっとひどいことやったってしょうがなかったで許されるよ。
It only makes sense. He didn't want to die a virgin. It was just a delusion. Something that was a bad habit of mine. It could take a turn for the worse if I didn't stop listening. The current would drag me away. My weak-minded nature was luring me to the path of least resistance toward a really bad path. But I couldn't let it drag me away, not now.
それにリミは僕に同情してくれてた。それならむしろやらしてくれるべきだ。犯せよ。死ぬ前に童貞捨てようよ。ダメだ!
I screamed to shatter my weak-minded blood straight to hell. Luckily, it seemed to have worked. Remy even stopped crying. She lowered the hands covering her face, and then she glared at me with those ice-cold eyes.
つまんない男。
Uh-oh. Now she's all crazy. What's up, Pseudo? Those few words are all it took for my mind to be swallowed by a cascade of dark emotions. And as I saw myself at Remy... What? The staggering force of an enormous stake burst straight up from the concrete floor. The sharp edge of the stake pierced straight into my crotch. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. My legs were floating in the air. Even if I wanted to run away, I couldn't. The stake gradually tore its way further and farther into my body. Excruciating painful, but not enough to kill me. The stake continued to grow, lifting me a whole meter into the air. In a horrible movement sent a jolt of pain through my groin. I was completely unable to move. Someone save me. I cast my pleading eyes down towards Remy. Not even looking at me, she walked straight to Norose's side. Then, as if exhausted of all strength, she crouched to the ground. Both Norose and Remy simply stared at me at the mortifying display. None of them had any form of expression as they watched. None of them had any interest in saving me.
知っていますか？かつて拷問刑として串刺しは世界中のあちこちで用いられていました。この拷問の特徴は死ぬまで3日ほどかかるということです。自らの体重によって徐々にその杭は体に食い込んでいく。 ポイントは
Never seen this that
杭の先
that
端
medieval
はそれ
dungeon
ほど
torture
尖らせな
museum
い
in San Francisco. I think it was like some kind of tourist attraction. They had that exact same, they had the impalement
臓
torture
器を
there.
傷つけ
Like
る
some
ことが
wax
なくな
figures.
り死ぬまでの期間が伸びるわけです。 最終的に杭の先端が口や肩から突き破れば処刑は終了。見守っていてあげますよ。3日間。
What? How long?
あなたが死ぬまでに。彼女も
How much time do you have in your
同じ
hands?
考えのようですし。
Remy nodded in response to his
も
words.
っともその前に胸や腕の傷のせいで失血死に至る方が早いかもしれませんが。
Delusion. A delusional attack, as I told myself. In reality, I wasn't really impaled. I was just standing in front of Noah too. It was all hallucinating. I believed it to be true. I had to believe it. 3 days, 72 hours, 4,320 minutes, 2,509,200 seconds. If I can endure it for that long, the illusion will end. It has to. I'll just sleep for a bit. I'll pass out. It'll go by a lot quicker. Those are my thoughts. But I couldn't do either of those things. They wouldn't let me. That's exactly what they wanted with this pure unrelenting torture. I was gonna go insane if this went on. And only a moment ago I've been thinking about trying to endure it and spiraled straight into despair. Considering the extreme amount of time I left before my death, despair was a soul emotion that just drained directly out of me. Just kill me already. Oh, how much time had passed? I didn't see a clock, so I had no clue. I wanted to see a clock, but I knew that if I did see one, the hands that sluggishly ticking by would probably shatter my spirit completely. I clenched my teeth. Blood was oozing off my body in droves. Thanks to that, my throat had gone dry, moistened by swallowing the blood that was trickling in. Inside my body, I could feel it continuously shoving aside my internal organs as it wedged itself deeper into me. I could feel it very clearly, like a countdown to my inevitable death. But enough. It ran to my minced chest. After that, pierced in my throat. It skewered me straight through the mouth. Pain and shock was pushing my sanity to its limits. Damn you, Noah, too. The pain kept me in a 5-minute cycle of passing out, waking up, then passing back out again. I to understand something. Every time I fainted, my body would go limp, and the stake dug into me even faster. Naturally, the pain would go on comparable levels with that happen. Then it would wake me back up. Able to move, my body would writhe in torment, then I'd pass out to escape the pain. The gruesome cycle would repeat itself. Even when I was conscious, I was entirely in a daze. It seemed the pain had somehow faded a little, too. Vision had gone dim. It was nighttime, not that it mattered, considering the lack of windows in the dome. I suppose it was probably because of how much blood I'd lost. Blood trickled from my chest and arms, albeit not a whole lot. I kept dripping out, maybe I could die peacefully for that instead of being impaled. It was not attempt to swing around my left arm, hardly of any which remained below the elbow. But it didn't even twitch. No doubt my nerves were already dead. I know she's saying crazy stuff. It was really a delusion? When was it going to end? Would it ever actually end? Would it made me believe it was delusion to begin with? Like I know it was delusion. What if it was all reality? If I endured it, I would just die anyway. It didn't mean shit. If I was enduring it anyway, that was stupid. Only dumbass would do that. I was an idiot. Die. Not in the haha kill yourself. No, actually fucking died. I should die right now. I was sick of all the pain. Sick of all the suffering. Bite your tongue off. Do that. You'll be at peace soon after. Just let me out of here. This is all delusion, right? I'm going back to this again. How long is this? I just continued to hemorrhage. I couldn't breathe. And how much oxygen I tried to suck in my throat would only make stupid wheezing sound. I looked down, only be met with a stake peeking through the hole in my chest. Chugging for oxygen as my mouth flapped open and shut, I finally vomited out blood. Like I was about to die, brought me peace of mind.
そろそろですね。
It was Norris's voice. The bastard was right in front of me. But I couldn't see him. In fact, I couldn't see a thing. Being impaled left me in so much agony for so long I completely forgotten about it, both him and Remy. Don't but wonder if Remy was still close by, though it didn't really matter. Still occupied with trying to breathe. For a good while now, I've been dedicating every nerve and every last ounce of strength toward just doing that.
君が無事死ぬ前に彼女を始末しておきましょう。
Wasn't exactly sure what he was talking about. Nor did I have a chance to think about it.
私を殺すの？
へえ、そういうことです。 遺言をどうぞ。
ごめん、タク。タクのこと、助けてあげられなかった。
I heard Rimi's final scream, and the sound of someone toppling over. I imagine that Rimi had just been shot and killed. I feel a single pang of emotion. Something else took priority. I turned to working on breathing, and then I felt a shock how I'd done that. What was it meaning any of this? Why did I struggle to keep on breathing? Was it too much? Something hot streamed down my cheeks. I was probably crying, but I wasn't anywhere to be sure of that. I tried my best to endure the pain of everything I'd dealt so far, but so close to 3 to limit, the meaning of doing so had been entirely lost. I'm sorry, Rimi. I should have been the one to apologize. I couldn't protect you. There wasn't any point in living anymore. I let my body go limp. Or did that cause my body to sink even deeper? I felt a foreign object working its way up my throat. Breathing became impossible. It was driving itself up through me. I came back to my senses. The feeling of a foreign object in my throat disappeared. I wasn't impaled anymore. The only blood from me was my left arm and chest. When did the reality end and the delusion begin? My brain couldn't begin to process it fast enough. I didn't understand a thing about the situation. In front of me was Norose, D-sword raised.
帰ってきましたか。あなたが体験した3日間は現実では1秒しか経っていませんが。
No, goddamn, Noah 2 is too powerful.
やっぱり妄想。
I muttered that to myself in relief. Norosa's D-sword flashed as fast as lightning. My body's top and bottom halves began to fall out of alignment. My vision fell and sank downwards, even though my legs were still standing right there. Hanging by my waist toppled to the floor. My torso had been cleaved clean off. The cross-section was all too beautiful to behold. I swiftly fixed my gaze on my lower half. It was reality I didn't want to accept, or was just another delusion. If it was that, it would have been nice. Please be a delusion. Rimi was calling me, and her voice seemed so sad. She was calling me.
その状態でも死ぬまで数分は持つはずです。元医師である私が言うのだから確かですよ。その間にコードサンプルを取ることにしましょう。
No, what? I crawled, dragging my body away with my right hand alone. I headed straight for Rimi's voice. I wanted to feel you there, Rimi. I wanted to save you, Rimi. I dragged myself forward with my right hand, then again. I reached out. I knew where Rimi was. I didn't reach her. Didn't reach anything at all.
しぶとい男だ。
Crunch, for my bones grind to dust. Norris's dress shoe trampled my outstretched right hand.
さすが化け物というべきですか。
そのノロセの足が蜃気楼のように揺れた。
What? Is talking or is thinking?
床のタイルの模様がぼんやりとし始めて。
What? Who's talking? Is this me?
天地が回転する。
Oh, he's taking over as narrator.
床と天井が逆になる。僕は天井に這いつくばっている。両断された腰からものすごい勢いで血が噴き出す。全開にした蛇口のように血が体から抜けていく。そのまま腕の傷口を通って内臓までが流れ出る。意識がスーッと遠くなる。でも完全には途切れない。血だまりができて、僕はその深紅の海に身を横たえている。ドクン、ドクンと鼓動する心臓が僕の目の前に転がっていて、血だまりに波紋を作り、その波紋をぼんやり見ていたら、僕の形が崩れた。人としての形を維持できない。僕と世界との境界が消失する。肉が溶け、骨がゴムのように曲がり、 眼球は四角になり、口から裏返った灰がこぼれ出し、神経は数万キロメートルも引っ張られ、脳はシワの一つ一つを丁寧に伸ばされ、体はブヨブヨになる。空気に溶けていく。右手が糸のように伸びて、プラネタリウムを出ていく。
What?
それは飴細工のように、渋谷の空をさまよって、コーネリアスタワーにくるくる巻きつく。何度も、何度も、何度も。分かれた足が膨れてる。ブクブクと水風船みたい。パンパンに。皮膚が伸びてギチギチ音を立ててる。
It's kind of like the end of Akira.
液状化。肉も骨もとろけてふくらはぎに溜まってる。腰からニョキって小さな頭が生えて、ぎょろりとした白い目が僕を見たよ。そしたら僕の頭がぐしゃって潰された。どっちの頭かはよくわかんない。潰れてトロトロになって、ビルの床、コンクリートの分子の隙間を抜けて、落ちていく。地上へビューって。地面に作るどろりとした脳みその水たまり。
Kozu P was right.
もぞもぞ、もごもご、ジュルジュル、
Is that
ド
what
ロ
you
ド
said?
ロ、プルプル、ビヨンビヨン、ビチャビチャ、ぐじゅぐじゅ、ぐちゃりぐちゃり。僕は二つになる。二つが四つになる。四つが八つになる。八つが四つに。二つが八つに。四つが四つに。どんどん増えて、どんどん減る。僕がいっぱい。僕がいない。僕は何？僕って何？何って僕何？何かがナボにナボボになくおな。
君は妄想なんかじゃないよ。
Oh no, Shogun.
れだ。
見てごらん。
西条七海が祈る。兄と共に収容された病院。怪我人があふれた待合室の片隅にうずくまり、実の兄のしわくちゃの手を握りしめて、右手の痛みに耐えて、目を閉じて祈る。もう一人の兄の無事を。
Everybody who has a D sword has to pray for me. Damn it.
楠木ユアン
Welcome
が
back to
祈る。
life.
倒壊したビルの瓦礫。そこに埋もれるように横たわるコンテナの中で、彼の美少女フィギュアの一つを握りしめて、地震と火事で醜く変形してしまったフィギュアたちの姿に感じた胸の痛みに耐え、 目を閉じて祈る。彼女を許してくれた少年の無事を。
うん
岸本綾瀬が祈る。避難所となっている水明学園。その校舎の屋上で空を見上げて、神話が書かれた文庫本を握りしめて、崩壊した渋谷を覆う不特定多数の妄想が見せる悪意の痛みに耐え、目を閉じて祈る。彼女の歌を、彼女の話を聞いてくれた少年の無事を。折原梢が祈る。新鮮駅の
AKA 小ズピ
薄暗いホーム。青井瀬名の震える手を握りしめて、足の傷の痛みに耐え
Since Sentinel will be next.
目を閉じて祈る。心の声で語り合ったクラスメートの少年の無事を。青井瀬名が祈る。横たわる父の傍らに座り、父の冷たくなった手を握りしめて、最後まで素直になれなかった後悔の痛みに耐えて、目を閉じて
Come on, Remy.
祈る。
Now we need Remy.
彼女のお願いに
Everybody who has a D sword.
答えようとしてくれた少年の無事を。咲畑りみが祈る。冷たい床に横たわりながら彼へ伸ばした自らの手をきつく握りしめて、傷だらけの彼の姿を見て感じた。締め付けられるような胸の痛みに耐えて、目を閉じて祈る。自分が守ろうとした、自分を助けに来てくれた少年の無事を。
僕は何もできなかった。君が行動したんだ。その結果としてみんなが君のことを見てきた。君という周囲共通認識はとっくに出来上がっているんだ。これからは、いや、もうすでに君こそが。
僕は、君は誰？僕は、その声が聞こえた瞬間に、意識が僕を固定した。ぐちゃぐちゃにかき回されていた世界が一気に収束する。
It's gonna make me start talking again.
僕の理想像を形
It's much more easy when he's dead. Oh, now we get the theme song.
僕は僕としての形に戻る。世界は世界としての形に戻る。僕は僕だ。
I wasn't ready. I can see clearly now. All my wounds had healed. The top and bottom halves were connected. I stand on my own 2 feet. Pain was entirely gone. Serenity filled my heart.
妄想によく打ち勝ったね。僕の最後の力を君に託すよ。
And damn, you know it too. I noticed Remy at the edge of my vision. She was okay. She was looking at me. Tears were falling down her face. Don't cry. Summoning my strength, I grasped the D-sword's hilt. I ascertained his feeling. Armor worked better than ever. I completely regenerated.
これは実に興味深いです。この化け物。
Focus my eyes on Norose.
確かに僕は化け物だよ。 でもこれが
I can rescue Rimi, so I can destroy Noah too.
僕が望んだ妄想だ。
Norse's response was swift. He had to harvest the code sample for Takumi. The illusion was supposed to have cornered the boy and shattered his psyche. Now the tables had turned, and that he could not allow. Norse had closed the gap between himself and Takumi. Taking a specific angle, he swung his D-sword from below. The D-sword that could cleave any unknown object. He diagonally carved through Takumi's chest. Target's durability made a difference. Killing a person with it simple as slicing through a block of gelatin. One quick swipe, Norse said Takumi's body split into pieces. His head, right arm, his right shoulder all slid cleanly off his body. Internal organs littered the floor, but not a single drop of blood fell with them. One half of Takumi's body began to give way. He braced himself. He managed to plant his feet. The falling moment, the cross-section of his wound began to undulate and squirm. Probably noise ensued, and then he regenerated. When his body had been cleaved in half a mere second ago, already new head, right arm, and shoulder had been born. His old head and internal organs remained where they had slid free from it.
嗅覚は遮断した。
Single step. Takopin approached Norose. Norose clicked his tongue, turned over his D-sword.
肉体の形を捨てたがゆえにいかなる形をも取れるということですか。
あんたの見せてくれた妄想のおかげだよ。
He was able to retain his shape as a human being. He'd taken the delusion and made it his own. It's not generation, but replacement. Missing parts replenished, flesh and bone reproduced once again, while propagated infinitely from the dust within his body. His shape was not fixed. Like an amoeba, like a collection of slime, he could change himself freely. It's like T-1000. That was the reason Takumi called himself a monster. Takumi took yet another step towards Norose. Norose's frustration increased. Ripping the hilt, he thrust his D-sword at the approaching Takumi. Takumi's head found itself between a colossal pair of scissors.
脳を失えば妄想はできないでしょう。
Takumi's head was crushed. It smelled like a watermelon. Blood and gray matter burst forth. Everything above the neck was gone, but yet Takumi's body remained. Regeneration placement was instantaneous. As he hit the ground, as if nothing had happened, as if he'd been entirely replaced, his head returned right to where it had been without a single scratch. Norose awakened to understand he could not win this fight. Physical attacks with his D-sword were useless. The original attack denying the boy's reason for existence had been taken and used for an alternate purpose. Current Takumi Nishijo was all too removed from human normalcy, all too restorative in existence, all too fitting as a monster. Yet despite it all, Norose had no intention of conceding. His next thought was to utilize Noah to his power to bombard Takumi with innumerable antiparticles. Bombardment with antiparticles could transform any known existence into negative matter, ending ultimately in self-collapse. Disruption from the surface is not viable. The collapse must be undertaken from within.
そうなんだね。
Norose's thoughts had been read by Takumi. Takumi's D-sword transformed from red to black. Black flame enveloped the blade. Its wriggled forth, extending outwards. Its shape resembled that of a dark, colossal serpent.
そして現れるの。
Uh-oh. The book's coming true. We're going through the dome as if constrained by it. Toward the ceiling, toward the floor, as though it was licking them up, as though it was scraping them away. It's simply consumed.
邪神の砕き大者。あらゆる崩壊を飲み込み、邪神の身を砕くことのできる。同質にして異質なるもの。
What? The body of the colossal serpent was composed of antiparticles. A mere touch because any known object into self-collapse. Torn to destruction composed of near infinite greed.
触手芸はあんまり好みじゃないけど。
Do you want to look up tentacle porn? What? There and then, Takumi's D-sword swung. Its pointed tip fixed on Norose. The dark serpent wound itself in a coil, curved its body like a whip. Its jaw snapped at Norose.
これほどとは。
Once had Norose seen such a phenomenon from a D-sword, he couldn't discern whether it was hidden power of all Giglomaniacs or merely Takumi's delusion. Dark fangs eroded Norris's body and he began to collapse. All too slowly like a frog dissolving in the belly of a snake. Darkness swallowed him. Felt no pain. By nature, his death should have been instant. But that was not what Takumi wished for. Realized this, Norris's lips twisted into a derisive smile. Norris had no fear of death. One could say the ideals he had pursued had been accomplished with the completion of Noah 2. Totally not Bankai.
私を殺してもノア2には誰も近づけない永久期間なんですよそれは
They'll never stop.
人類を未来永劫にわたって管理し続ける
It's the machine. Controls
ただ
everything.
座して眺めているだけではない人の幸福のために干渉してくる人工の神なのです
So, there's a man-made god which interferes for the sake of mankind's happiness. Oh. Norris was God's inventor, so to speak. As long as Noah 2 continued to exist, mankind would not perish. An eternal utopia Norris sought would become real. However.
あんたなら近づけるんでしょ
The serpent's body wriggled and writhed within Norris and its grasp lifted his body into the air.
それならあんたは鍵だ
Kagi is key. Norris was astonished. But soon enough, his face changed into an expression of pure agony. The serpent swung up his body with ease. Takumi shot a glance at Rimi. Their eyes met. What was Rimi feeling as she watched him? In her mind, it would have been effortless, and yet Takumi did nothing of the sort. Seems I was able to save you after all. Quickly averted his eyes. His gaze then shifted to the still humming. Just got disconnected from chat. What happened? I don't think I missed anything. Okay, good. His gaze shifted to the still humming Noah 2, the throne of God where none could stand foot, creator which showed nothing, not of dreams of bliss. Oops.
ごめん
He apologized to no one in particular.
僕は人類にとっての敵かもね
Eternal utopia this device would have brought a future without conflict. Takumi to extinguish them with his own two hands. Is that right or was it wrong? Takumi gave no answer to that.
でも神話でもよくあるでしょ神だって女絡みでうだうだやってる、だから僕も
I will sacrifice the happiness of mankind out of love for a girl. Takumi, D-sword in hand, bent his arms in a giant arc.
突き破れ
Thrusted forward like a javelin, the colossal serpent of darkness charged straight ahead. The bait known as Narosa, impaled by its tip, it flew straight at Noah towards Noah 2. Sorry. Enormous serpent of antiparticles, capable of terminating any known object. In a will of its own, this was not something that could have been warped and distorted. The greedy impulse to destroy using Narosa as the key to the delusional barrier. It was easily smashed to pieces. Kind of weird. That's how Noah 2 died. It'd be much like a bigger explosion. When had the rain begun to fall? There'd just been a huge explosion, and its blast. Blast by my body. Okay, there was. My body weighed like it was nothing more than a rag doll. Next thing I know, I found myself lying here. His eyes were always watching me. Stare pierced through the thick, pitch-black rain clouds. Poured down on me like rain. This is actually the very beginning of the game. Don't look at me. My body couldn't stop shivering, not from the chill of the rain, but rather the ice-cold rubble against my back. So terribly cold. He has pierced me from the heavens. Who it belonged to I couldn't say. As if to escape it, I raised my head to look at the environment around me. There I saw a ruined city. There I saw despair. There I saw death. There I saw nothingness. Not a soul was there. Not a soul was moving. Not a soul was left alive. The only thing I could hear was the sound of the rain continuing to pour. That's right, everything, both the living and the dead, would be all gently embraced. Would it all be gently embraced and washed away? I thought it would be a fall. This was just a delusion, but that seemed to be the case. I couldn't move my body. I could only move my eyes and neck, and even then just barely. I could use that monstrous power from before. My body was just shivering, more than a physiological phenomenon. It wasn't happening by my own will. I want my body to tremble. If I could move it freely, that it wasn't my body. I've never had free will ever since I was born. Nobody knows exactly where the soul resides. Bearing that in mind, how could anyone say there was a soul inside of this body of mine? But where exactly was I now? Was I really here? Was I really anywhere at all? The Shadow World were all stood still. Wait a minute, what has happened? Is this like the beginning of the gaming world? Here was the rain of death. Suddenly another sound echoed through it. Solitary existence began to emerge from the sea of nothingness. Who are you? Your skin so pale because it had been numbed by the chill of the rain, and it was because you were already dead. Yet the girl wasn't shivering, yet those eyes of hers nearly hidden by her bangs. Okay, wait, is this the beginning of the game again? What just happened? Don't look at me. Looks so terribly sad. Looks like they've been held a hint of madness. Yeah. You just warp right to the beginning. This is how it goes. If she and I were the only ones left in the world, we stared in each other's eyes like this for all eternity. The world be reduced to reflection in her eyes. Would her world be reduced to reflection in my eyes? In fact, her eyes was me. In fact, my eyes was her. I thought of it that way. The world immediately seemed so much smaller. Suddenly a flash of static reached my ears. Once endlessly beautiful, yet deeply discordant. She lowered her head and spread her arms wide. Almost prepared to take off to soar up high above the rain clouds. Was trying to catch all above all the falling
あ
rain.
なたを見つめる妄想
What? Where I was on the ground, I could see the expression on the lowered head of hers. Behind this thin veil of rain, just what kind of face are you making? Angel? Wait. Dancing feathers of light blessing me, or... Oh. Ah, I finally understand. She's going to use that to kill me. Okay, what is happening now? Why did the game just suddenly restart like this? Is that how it works? Heard a whisper go by seconds, as beautiful as it was discordant. I apologize for if I don't disappear, the other me or the real me will die. That's why I'm okay with this. Yeah. Like, I'm really glad to get erased by you. It's not bad for me, the monster, though I don't have any regrets. A warm, soft, gentle, sweet sensation, relaxing, anesthetic. Sure, everybody gonna die. Okay, I don't want to read the whole thing again. What's going on here? Why? Does it tell you it's some? There's no credits or anything? Was that not the real ending? Just suddenly starts over like that? I'm a little bit confused here. Does anybody know? I gotta look it up. Why did this suddenly happen? Or is this actually like the actual ending? Oh. It was just the very beginning part again. I just skipped through it. It's okay. Whoops. That was confusing. I thought it really was the whole game again. Or just the very beginning, because that was the very beginning again. Until that moment. Yeah. Now I gotta figure out, like, if there's another ending or something. Which I'm almost sure there is, because generally the way visual novels work. But, obviously, you don't have to, like, you can, like, skip all the shit you've already read before. I hope. This one's kind of older, I'm not sure about that. All the ones I've ever played you could, so assuming you can. Yeah, that one's crazy. Gotta admit, that one is a little bit... I do not like it as much as Steins Gate, just because it's kind of like too crazy. And kind of like it... It's not really one you'd really want to read out loud, because it's so nuts, and like also it gets kind of repetitive and stuff, and tries to make you be, tries to be crazy. So it's like, oh, this is kind of annoying to read. But the story's super good, obviously. I mean, geez. The other one is about mechs or whatever, about giant robots or mecha. It's called Robotics Notes Elite, I think it's called. Yeah. Those are the three of the Steins Gate like series or whatever. But I think even also within each of those games, there's like another one, because there's like another one of these afterwards called Chaos Child that everybody says is really good, if you've played this one, which I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't like the sound of that. Yeah, there's another one after this called Chaos Child. And in Steins Gate, there's one called... There's like Steins Gate 0 after that. There's another one, I think, even after that. And then the third game of the series, Robotics Node Elite, which is about giant robots. But yeah, I was waiting. There's supposed to be... So I think they made an anime for Steins Gate 0. I'm assuming they're going to make a Steins Gate 0 Elite, where they put all the anime stuff into the game, so I don't have to, like, you know, we could just watch more of it instead of having to read so much of it. I was waiting for that to happen, but it hasn't happened. They might not do it. I'm not sure anymore, because it's kind of been a while now at this point. The other novels, or visual novels we got to play at least on stream, is Danganronpa, because we played Danganronpa 1, which was also kind of crazy. And it's obviously a huge whole series of Danganronpas after that. Alright, yay! The Silent Sky ending. Right? Better remember that. CG library not available. Nice. Right. Yeah, it's been a while, so I don't know if it's gonna I don't know if it's gonna happen. Movie library is still available. All right. Shortcut has been okay, good. I like the sound of Shortcut. Ah. 9 endings, dude. Can you see under me? 9 endings. It took me 30 hours just to get the first ending. I mean, we gotta see them, right? Why does it say passwords? What's going on? We gotta see them, right? I mean, I don't want to not see these other... I mean, I'm gonna have to look into this. Is this really worth it? I know it was gonna be 9. There's probably one for each girl, I bet. That's why there's 9. Yeah, because it's got to be something like that. Then there's got to be like a super good ending or something too. There's got to be like a good... I mean, this is tough. I am kind of thinking about it though. But yeah, how much longer does that make this game? That is kind of key here. I mean, otherwise this is the only game I'm going to stream from now on, just to see all these stupid endings. All right. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, everyone. I had a lot of fun. Finally made it to the end of this game, which is great. And yeah, let's find someone to raid. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Here's some credits. Stupid music we can play in the meantime. There we go. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. This actually was pretty fun. And I do kind of want to see if there's a good ending. I do kind of want to see it. Kind of sucks. All right, who's there to raid here? Tyler El Guapo, streaming the G1. I could raid him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Let's raid him. Oh, there's Speedball Mike Bailey. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do Tyler, I guess. There's so few people here. Oh, there's RMP wrestling it too. Oh man. Oh, there's doing reruns. Okay. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Walrus. And Pseudo, thanks guys for hanging out. Nice, watching the G1. Alright. Yeah, everybody have a great day. And yeah, oh yeah, you can see all the schedule. We'll get back to Mortal on Tuesday, but I'm gonna try to do some wrestling after AW this week because we have so much to get to. And I might try to do that Tuesday CMLL stream too. I was kind of thinking about that. So we might watch like Stardom first, and then after that go to the live CMLL or something like that. Then try to fit like other stuff on Wednesday, then do like 2 Stardom streams on Thursday, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Everybody have a great night. Hope to see you again. Or a great day. Hope to see you again soon. Say hello. Say goodbye.
want to talk about it. I've never been a fan of his, but it's been a running bit on the channel, right? Of me not liking Matt Damon.
Oh. Preaching to the choir.